of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, could you please conduct the roll call?
President Kushmerek.
Present.
Councilor Bean. Councilor Boschman.
Present.
Councilor Beazall. Councilor Clark.
Here.
Councilor Di Natale.
Here.
Councilor Donnelly.
Here.
Councilor Green. Present. Councilor Joseph. Councilor Caddy. Here. Councilor Tran.
Here.
Public forum. Anyone wishing to speak on any matter on the agenda may do so for not more than 2 minutes. If you're addressing a public hearing petition, you'll have an opportunity to speak at that time. Please approach the center table and identify yourself by name and address for the record and the item number on the agenda at which you're speaking. Does anyone wish to speak at this time? Commissioner Laxo.
I'm Winnie Laxo, DPW Commissioner. I was just here a couple weeks ago, but since then we've had 5 storms and 31 inches of snow, so we quickly ran out of the snow and ice money that was appropriated last time, so we're asking for an additional $300,000, and hopefully we won't need it all, but you never know.
Councilor Di Natale.
Move for suspension on 3117.
Second.
I have a motion and second for suspension of the rules on 3117. Speaking to the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is before you.
Move 3117 be granted.
Second.
I have a motion and second to grant 3117. Speaking to the motion, all those. Councilor Di Natale.
I just wanted to point out for the public, for their information, that with this appropriation, so far the city has spent $1,056,000, which, according to the data for the last 10 years, or I'm sorry, the last 8 years, is the second highest within the decade. So, lucky us. But this was a really rough year, and hopefully it's ending, although I want to knock on wood because we are supposed to get 60-degree weather the next week or two. But all the snow will melt, and then who knows what will happen after that. But I just wanted to point that out, that this is the second highest expense of snow and ice removal we've had in a decade. Last year it was $650,000, which was considered a very mild year. Too bad it can't be that every year. But just one question, Lenny. Beyond the $1,050,000 we've already spent, this will bring you up to $1,250,000, $1,250,000.
Yes.
That $200K, an estimate that like 2 storms,
Yeah, well, it all depends on the size, but
Right.
maybe 3 storms.
maybe 3. Okay. Hopefully it's 0. But thank you.
Commissioner, I'll just add just a point of gratitude for all that you and your department have done during these storms. I know we had certainly some treacherous weather, but the roads were in great shape, all things considering, and certainly in better shape than some of our neighboring communities. So thank you for all the work that you and your department do.
Yeah, it was tough on the guys. There were 3 or 4 storms, so they had to work around the clock, and so they got tired, but they keep working at it.
That said, we have a motion and second to grant 3117. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It's unanimous. Motion
Thank
carries.
you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Public forum. Anyone else wishing to speak at this time? Seeing none. If there are no objections, we'll now hear an oral report from the Appointments Committee, which met earlier this evening. At 6:45, we had 3 new appointments. I'll call the 2 by the police first. Chief, I know you'd like to speak to those 2 items. The new appointments: Special Police Officer for the City of Fitchburg, retired Deputy Police Chief Paul Pazikis, as well as Permanent Reserve Police Officer for the City of Fitchburg, Eldred T. Wright. We also had this evening a member of the Planning Board, Ms. Laura O'Kane, for a term to expire January 1st, 2020. Chief, do you want to speak to these to the appointments? Or you also? Okay.
Good evening, councilors. We met earlier at the Appointments Committee. I was respectfully requesting the appointment of Mr. Eldred Wright as a reserve police officer for the City of Fitchburg. Mr. Wright lives in the City of Fitchburg. He went to Gardner High School, graduated from Gardner High School. From there, he went on to Fitchburg State to earn a degree. After graduating from Fitchburg State, he enlisted in the U.S. Navy, and he served his country in the Navy for the last 4 years, and now he returns home to the city of Fitchburg, where he's going to start his journey as a Fitchburg police officer, as a reserve police officer to a student police officer, and in a short time, he'll be a full-time police officer for the city of Fitchburg.
Great. I'd entertain a motion at this time.
Motion to approve the appointment.
Second.
I have a motion and second to approve the Appointments Committee report. Speaking to the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is unanimous. Congratulations. The clerk will now swear you in at this time.
Step in the middle of the horseshoe.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me to take an oath. I do solemnly promise and swear
I do solemnly promise and swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
and to the best of my knowledge and ability
and to the best of my knowledge and ability
perform and discharge all the duties
perform and discharge all the duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as a permanent reserve police officer
as a permanent reserve police officer
for the city of Pittsburgh.
for the city of Fitchburg.
So help me.
So help me God. Good luck to you. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Hunter. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Yeah, student police officer next. Yeah. Now hear a report from the Committee on Records. Councilor Donnelly.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have reviewed the records and they appear to be in order.
Move the Committee on Records report be accepted.
Second.
A motion and second to accept the report from the Committee on Records. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is unanimous. Motion carries. Communications from His Honor the Mayor. We have 3 appointment letters. The first for Ms. Jacqueline Cronin as Interim City Auditor. Second for Mr. Eldred Wright, who's just here, as Student Police Officer. And third for Mr. Schuyler Eric Kozlowski and Mr. Paul Andrew Duquette as permanent full-time firefighters for the city of Fitchburg. Those will be sent to appointments. We also have one communication from department heads, from Calvin D. Brooks, City Treasurer, regarding 6 Hale Street. And lastly, we have one other communication. Councilors, I believe this was sent out to you prior to the meeting. City of Gardner, Honorable Mayor Mark Hawk, regarding creation of a committee to update the Montechusett Regional Vocational Technical School District Agreement. Now resume the agenda. City Property Committee oral report. Met earlier this evening. There were 2 items on the agenda. 1217, Matson Homes, Inc., a New Hampshire corporation, to accept Flickner Drive as a public way in the city of Fitchburg. And 01317, Attorney Vincent P. Pusateri II, City Solicitor, to accept as a gift, donation, purchase, or to take by eminent domain under Mass General Law 79 et al., both permanent and temporary easements over certain parcels of land required for the Summer Street, North Street Improvement Project as outlined in the enclosed petition. Both were accepted unanimously.
Second.
I have a motion and second to accept the City Property Committee report. Speaking to the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is unanimous. Motion carries. Public Works Committee oral report. Councilor Caddy.
Public Works Committee met tonight, this evening at 5:45 p.m. We had one item on the agenda, 1217, Matson Homes, a New Hampshire corporation, to accept Flickr Drive as a public way in the city of Fitchburg. It passed 5-0.
Move the Public Works Committee report be accepted.
Second.
I have a motion and second to accept the Public Works Committee report. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is unanimous. The motion carries. Planning Board, there were 2 items sent our way to.
Move the Planning Board recommendations 20715 and 1217 regarding Matson Homes be accepted.
Second.
A motion and second to accept the report from the planning board regarding items 207, 15, and 01217. Speaking to the motion,
Mr. President,
Councilor Caddy.
just want to double check 20715. It was granted on 9/23/16. I just want to make sure that was granted by the council and not by committee.
The report was accepted.
The report was accepted by the council.
Okay,
At that
thank
time.
you.
I have a motion and second to accept. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It's unanimous. Motion carries. Public hearing. 2617 Unitil, Fitchburg Gas and Electric Light Company to install 2 new Sol-owned poles on Westminster Hill Road, approximately 70 feet north from Industrial Road. Now declare the hearing open. I know we don't have anyone representing the petition here this night. Councilor Caddy, speaking to the petition.
Yeah, there was a person from Unitil here earlier, Jim D., and I questioned him on these 2 telephone poles. This is one of the businesses in the industrial park that wants to put 2 poles in to feed the solar panels they just put on the roof. The second pole is adjacent to the new soccer fields going in. I spoke to the developer today who's told me that he wants to put all his utilities underground feeding the soccer field. So I asked Jim D. tonight if he could confer with Steve Marsden from the soccer fields and the owners of the industrial building to see if they could eliminate the 2 poles and drop everything underground. Jim D. told me he would look into that and asked if we could put him on for hearing in 2 weeks.
This time I'd ask for a
Will
motion.
the hearing be continued to, I had my calendar up,
1 minute.
March 7th?
Yeah, March 7th.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and second to continue the hearing until the meeting on March 7th. Speaking to the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It's unanimous. The hearing is continued. Orders, finance.
Motion for suspension on 3017.
Second.
I have a motion and second for suspension of the rules on 3017. In order approving the expenditure of funds from the Mass Executive Office of Public Safety and Security for the FY17 Shannon Community Safety Grant in the approximate amount of $138,687.30. All those in favor of suspension?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? It is unanimous. The order is before you.
Move 3017 be granted.
Second.
I have a motion and second to grant 3017. Speaking to the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It is unanimous. Motion carries. Ordinances. 3217, an ordinance amending Chapter 181.10 of the Code of the City of Fitchburg zoning by inserting phrases in the paragraphs referencing light manufacturing, and research and testing. Reference petition to 2016.
Move 3217 be referred to Planning Board for a public hearing on March 14th and a City Council public hearing on March 21st.
Second.
Second.
I have a motion and second to send 3217 to refer to the Planning Board for a public hearing on March 14th, 2017, and City Council public hearing on March 21st, 2017. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is unanimous.
Move 3317 be referred to the Planning Board for a public hearing on March 14th and the City Council public hearing on March 21st.
Second.
I have a motion and second to refer 3317 to a Planning Board public hearing on March 14th, 2017, and City Council public hearing on March 21st, 2017. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It is unanimous. Petitions.
Move 3417 be referred to City Council public hearing April 18th, 2017, Planning Board and Board of Health.
Second.
I have a motion and second to send 3417 to City Council public hearing April 18th, Planning Board and Board of Health. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It is unanimous. Motion carries.
Move we adjourn.
I have a motion and second to adjourn. Announcements, Council Beazall.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to say the Pittsburgh Public Library Teen Center will be having an Outsiders Night on Saturday, March 11th from 5 to 8. It's free for all teenagers, 13 to 18. They plan on having a giant Jenga game. They're going to have some 60s dancing. Also, on March 29th, for the teenagers again, they're going to be having a book club and Friday nights craft nights. They're going to have that on March 29th, and then on March 31st, from 5 to 7, they're going to have a henna tattoo night on Friday. So there's quite a bit going on at the library. A lot of times people say there's nothing to do. There's always plenty to do. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Beazall. I'd like to also add, this past Saturday was a very successful Winterfest down at Coggeshall Park. I'd like to thank the various volunteers and city departments that worked and gave up their Saturday to put on a very successful event and some beautiful weather. So it was a great and proud day for the city. So thanks to those who volunteered and participated. Mayor Di Natale?
Council President, thank you, but that's exactly what I was going to say.
I'm sorry for stealing your thunder there.
Thank you. No, it's quite all right. Thank you. It was a very successful event.
I have a motion and second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, Council.